Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Football Office Hours * half an hour, brought to you by Front Yard Fantasy. I'm your tenured Professor Simon, joined by a professor fighting for tenure, John Luke Garofalo. What's up, Jo?
They just won't give it to me.
It's all your damn peanut takes. It's because you keep trying to pay your TAs in peanuts.
Stupid game they make me play.
The TAs have been unionizing around JL, demanding walnuts, but peanuts is what they're getting. Well, we are here today, if you've never joined us for office hours, to answer any and all questions you have heading into week 4, the rest of the season, or about our personal vegetable eating habits. Any of those questions we'd be glad to answer right now. Throw them in the chat. I see we got Dame stopping by saying hi, FYF. What's up, Dame? And we got a question to kick us off from Grimfan. Grimfan says Christian Watson, Cortland Sutton, Chris Olave, or Michael Pittman start 2 full PPR. So we got Christian Watson playing in tonight's game. John Luke coming back from injury. I know it's tempting to get him into the lineup. Are you interested in him, or is he seeing the bench with these other options available?
Can't remember which name you said before you started saying all those nice things. So I can't answer your question. Which name was that? What was
Christian Watson. He's coming back from injury. Yeah. It's his first week back. I'm excited to see him on the field, but I am nervous to play him.
Yeah, out of this group, I'm not starting Christian Watson. I am excited to see what he's able to bring coming back, what that rapport looks like between Jordan Love and Christian Watson. I mean, Jordan, we talked about it a bunch at the game show. Simon, you and I have both been really impressed with Jordan Love's performance so far this season. And I think Christian Watson's going to benefit from that. But I don't think you need to be the guinea pig or your fantasy team. I don't think your fantasy team needs to be the guinea pig. And so out of these two guys, I think I'd start definitely starting Pittman. And then I think I'd start Olave.
I'm with you, though I'm going to flip the definitely. I'm definitely starting Olave, and I think I'm starting Pittman. Pittman's getting that 11 to 12 targets a game so far this season. I just have a hard time putting that on my bench in full PPR. I want to start Watson. I'm so tempted to start Watson. You drafted him to be a starter. He's playing on Thursday night. You haven't gotten to see him play yet. It's a juicy matchup against the Detroit Lions.
That's Christian Watson grunt right there.
Yeah, I'd be starting Michael Pittman, but tonight I'd be just sweating watching Christian Watson in that game. Yeah. Also, Brian wants to know what's superior, a backwards hat or a frontwards hat?
Great question. I think it's a backwards hat, but it depends if you're playing baseball or not.
That is a great. If you were in a baseball game and your hat was backwards, you would look like an absolute.
So stupid. What a tool.
Superior, it depends what you're qualifying it as. Just like cool, you're taking an article of clothing that was built for function, the function being to keep the sun out of your eyes, and removing all of that function, creating just a fashion statement by putting it on anything but forwards. So that's definitely cooler. From a utilization standpoint, probably forwards, because it does its job. Keeps the sun out of your eyes.
Probably.
Dane wants to know how confident you feeling about Monty tonight. So another player coming back from injury. We talked about him a little bit on the last show. John Luke, are you confident in David Montgomery in this matchup against the Packers?
Confident? No. Any player coming off of injury coming back in, I'm concerned about. Going up against Green Bay, I do think Detroit is going to win this game, and I think they'll probably get ahead, which means if David Montgomery is good, he'll likely get some work. So semi-confident, I guess, is the answer to your question.
Yeah. How confident I am would depend on the other options that you have on your roster. I'm confident enough. Yeah, I'll start him over guys like AJ Dillon, right? I'll start him over guys like Tyler Algier, over a Kenneth Gainwell, over.
What about James Cook?
I'll start James Cook.
James Cook.
Yeah, where I see like a certain workload is probably where I start drawing that line. I think I'd start Kyron Williams over David Montgomery. I'd start
Mixon.
I think I'd start Mixon. I'd start Javonte Williams. But whenever you start picking
go Madison,
Jordan Addison,
Alexander Madison.
Oh, Alexander Madison, not Jordan Addison. Ooh.
All right, I just wanted one close one. Wanted reaction more than anything.
That is tough. Going up against Carolina, it's such a good matchup. Give me Madison. Over Montgomery. What about you?
I think I go Madison.
Dave wants to know, start one, Jacoby Myers or DJ Moore. Jacoby Myers going up against the Los Angeles Chargers, and the Panthers going up against the Vikings, like we just mentioned. John Luke, who's it going to be? Jacoby?
Jacoby, yep. The Chargers haven't been that great going against wide receivers, and Jacoby Myers has looked decent.
Yeah, it's going to be Jacoby Myers for me as well. And the Bears have looked not decent. In fact, I'm not sure that offense even knows how to work. Grim wants to know who are the Raiders playing. They got the Chargers this week. Jacob wants to know Dak, Goff, Jimmy G this week. So we hit Dak or Goff in the last one, and it was a unanimous Goff, if I'm not mistaken. John Luke, does Jimmy G change this equation for you?
No, I'm still going Jared Goff.
Yeah, I'm still going Jared Goff here as well. And you get those Thursday night points. They're juicy. I see Tootsie Pop stopping by. What's up, Rachel? Welcome in.
What up, Rachel?
Brain says, I called you Brian earlier. Sorry, Brain. I mixed up I and the A. Says, I'm 3-3 in my SFB and I need some support. The guy I'm facing off against is super handsome and super arrogant, and I want to knock him down a peg. It's JL. Do you have any psychological warfare tips?
Honestly, I respect this move. Simon, I urge you to answer earnestly.
Psychological warfare tips to play against JL.
1 and 5, so keep that in mind if that factors into your equation here at all.
Start all your Clemson players if you have any on your roster. It hurts Dale a little bit because he will cheer for them regardless of what's happening.
Yeah, that will hurt.
Though that being said, the Clemson players, Mike Williams out for the season. DeAndre Hopkins getting like 4 targets a week. T. Higgins, Joe Burrow's leg is falling off. It is slowly declining. ETN's got the full workload, it seems like.
If you ETN, start him.
Bears 1985 stopping by saying, what's up? Hope everyone is blessed. Thank you, Bears. Welcome in. Grim wants to know, which stack do I do this week? Hertz and AJ Brown or Cousins and Hawk? John Luke, which one of these stacks you like better?
Ooh, let me pull up Hawk's target numbers. They're good. They're very good. And I just looked up AJ Brown's, and they were also fantastic. I think I would go Hertz and AJ Brown.
Hertz and AJ Brown?
Yeah, I think the Vikings are likely going to destroy the Panthers, and maybe they go heavy on the run game, which makes that Alexander Madison look a little nicer.
Yeah. The more I think about it, the more clear it is that Madison is the start over Montgomery. My instant reaction is to vomit. Yeah, I think I'm with you. It's Hertz and AJ Brown here as well. Carlos wants to know Tutu Atwell, George Pickens, or Christian Watson for this week. Ooh-wee! That is a great question you got in there, Carlos. Joe, you're going Pickens?
I'm going Pickens, yep.
George Pickens. I am tempted to go Tutu Atwell against the Indianapolis Colts. This Rams team showed last week that the offensive line is dying. They're going to try to get that ball out of Matthew Stafford's hands. And we saw CJ Stroud in a similar type of game script against the Colts, right? Bad offensive line. They're getting some pressure, chuck the ball 47 times. And we saw Tutu Atwell be the target leader on that team last week as they kind of figured out how to handle Puka Nacua. So I like Atwell.
Little guy Atwell?
Little guy Atwell. The NFL's changing, JL.
Did you see that touchdown stretch he had? Almost touchdown. I can't remember if
it should have been a touchdown. It should have been a touchdown, but it wasn't.
I was like, wow, that was amazing. What a little guy. He was
just 6 inches taller. Andrew in here wants to know, would y'all consider starting Sutton against the Bears over Pickens this week? Joe, you starting Cortland Sutton over George Pickens?
I think you can absolutely consider it. I'm still starting Pickens over Sutton, but it is worth a consideration for sure.
I'm with you. And it looks like Russ likes Cortland Sutton through the first 3 weeks of this season.
Yeah.
It seems like there's something there. So I'm putting Sutton on my bench, but I think I'm with you, Jail. Start Pickens, but monitor that situation there in Denver. Yep. Also, Jacob said, thanks, guys. Just worried about the home road splits for Goff. I get it. I understand
Totally understand that.
But I do try to avoid those things whenever I'm making decisions. Kirk Cousins is bad in prime time until he's not, right? We've seen him go out there and just blow up for fantasy purposes in prime time. Hey, if you watch the quarterback show, they laid out all the stats. He's not nearly as bad in prime time as we think he is. Also, Carlos in here clarifying, so the question for Tutu Atwell, Pickens, or Christian Watson is in a PPR format. Doesn't change my answer. Does it change yours?
Nope.
Bears 1985 wants to know Justin Fields in that matchup against the Broncos this week, or is it going to be the Cleveland Browns going up against, who do the Browns got this week? They got Baltimore going up against the Ravens. It's Deshaun for you?
No, sorry. I was just saying the name because you didn't say the name. I would go Fields. I would go Fields here. Baltimore's defense is pretty stout, and I would just hope Fields can put something together with his legs. The Denver matchup is pretty soft.
If Watson wasn't on the injury report, limited in practice yesterday, I think I would go with an easy Watson here. This offense is changing with the absence of Nick Chubb. They're going to have to throw the ball more. He's got a good connection with Amari Cooper. We saw his best game of the season last week. But because of the injury designation, these guys are close. I'll go with Fields as well, JL. Jeb wants to know, should I trade CMC and Kirk Cousins for Eckler and Mahomes? CMC and Kirk for Eckler and Mahomes. Ooh. Eckler's currently injured, but expected to play this week. So, I mean, technically a downgrade at running back based on what they've done so far. And then definitely an upgrade at quarterback, but that position is less valuable. If this is a 1 QB league, what are you doing, JL?
1 QB, I think this is easy. 1 QB, I'm going CMC. In a 2 quarterback league, I'm going Eckler and Mahomes.
It CMC's that valuable to you that he's the difference between Mahomes and Kirk Cousins isn't made up between the difference between Eckler and CMC.
Correct. Yeah. In a 1 quarterback league, that gap between Cousins and Mahomes isn't that large.
Man, Eckler could come back and just be the same as Christian McCaffrey. Know what I mean? Though, like he could come back and just give you top level running back production rest of season. It's definitely more secure with Christian McCaffrey. I think I'm on the Eckler and Mahomes side of this because Mahomes is one of the few difference makers at that position. So you are getting that upgrade, and Eckler has CMC type upside, but I don't blame you on this one. Dave wants to know, how crazy would it be to go Tutu Atwell over DeAndre Hopkins? JL, are you crazy enough to make this move, or are you not doing it?
It's pretty crazy. I would start DeAndre Hopkins.
I'd start Tutu Atwell. I don't think it's that crazy. This Tennessee offense, you talked about it on the game show, JL, it's just been abysmal. It's a Tennessee Titans problem, and it's finally caught up to DeAndre Hopkins. Atwell's getting 7, 8, 9 targets in these games. I'll take that against the Colts. That's gross. That hurts my feelings that Tutu Atwell I would start over DeAndre Hopkins. Damon here wants to know, pick 2, half PPR, Judy versus Chicago, Hollywood versus the Niners, Romeo Doubs tonight versus the Lions, Drake London versus the Jaguars in London, or Jordan Addison versus Carolina, or Ramondre Stevenson versus Dallas. Joe, which 2 of these are you plugging in?
All right, I'm locking in Judy.
Locking in Judy.
Yeah, I would lock in Judy and probably Doubs.
Man, this is close. No love for Hollywood?
I am worried about Hollywood.
San Francisco is 14-point dogs.
Yeah, I'm worried about Hollywood.
I think I'm going Judy, and then I think I'm going London. I am buying into this game, and I like the team that they're playing. This Jaguars team hasn't been what was advertised. They've been beatable on defense. Maybe we get a slightly higher scoring game than we've expected, and this Falcons offense has been better than expected. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say they're good. They still don't know how to throw the ball, but they're better than I thought they were going to be.
Kind of forgot Ramondre Stevenson was down there. I might go Ramondre over Doubs.
You might go Ramondre over Doubs?
Yeah, I think I'd go Ramondre over Doubs.
I was a little bit irked by the involvement of Zeke last week, but Ramondre is probably the smart play. Mike in here has a question, guys. We're going to be here for about 5-10 more minutes answering your questions. If we don't get to all of them, you can join our Discord in the link in this YouTube video description. We'll get to your questions there. 18 league, half PPR, got offered Jamar Chase to give up Ken Walker and Amari Cooper. John Luke. So they've got the rest of their team listed there that we can look at. Christian McCaffrey, Saquon, Brian Robinson, Zach Moss, and Javonte. Yeah. Would you trade up Ken Walker and Amari Cooper for Jamar Chase?
Yes, I would.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, you have plenty of depth.
Even with the Joe Burrow injury, you're not scared off?
Nope.
The Joe Burrow injury, if anything, scares me off of T. Higgins and not Jamar Chase, because Joe Burrow was injured in the last game and he hyper-targeted Chase. Chase was his safety blanket. I'm with you, JL. Go get potentially the number, we'll call him 2 wide receiver in the league. Justin Jefferson seems to have that number 1 slot locked up this season so far. Jack, we got another would I be crazy question. Would it be crazy to start Musgrave over Mark Andrews this week? And this is where I say yes. This is where I draw that line. Tutu over DeAndre Hopkins? No. Musgrave over Mark Andrews? Could Musgrave score more points? Sure. But I'm not going to be the one with him on my bench whenever that happens, or Mark Andrews on my bench. You agree, JL?
I agree with you. Yeah, I'm going Andrews.
even against this brutal Browns defense.
Yep.
Okay, let's hit some of these rapid fire here as we approach the end of this stream. Grim fan, no, it's Tootsie in here. What's up, Rachel? Says Lockett, Thomas, or Palmer in the flex. Joe, which way are you rolling?
I think I go Lockett.
Go Lockett. I'm going to go Lockett as well here, though. I don't mind starting Palmer this week.
No,
Carlos wants to know Fields or Jordan Love. Also has Aaron Jones. I'm going Love. No question.
Yeah, I go Love.
That Broncos offense is broken right now. The Fields can do stuff with his legs. Scampers wants to know half PPR. David Montgomery tonight, Gabe Davis versus Miami, or wait for Saquon/Burrito versus Seattle on Monday.
Montgomery. I'd go Montgomery. See what you got. See what you get tonight, and then that gives you a little bit more flexibility going into the weekend.
I'm waiting for Saquon. What? Saquon is far enough ahead of all of these other options, and you have a backup available that I'm willing to potentially have to play Matt Breida on Monday night for the chance to get to play someone that's tiers ahead of David Montgomery and Gabe Davis.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a really good point.
It's close, though. It's close. Joshua in here says Justin Fields is chilling on my waivers. Hey, he's on some of my waivers, too. Wants to know, do I make room for him? My bench is Rashee Rice, Quentin Johnston, Collins. I don't know who that is. Joe, do you know who Collins that would be?
No. Oh, maybe Nico Collins. Is
that makes a lot of sense. Ooh, what's he doing on your bench? You got some good wide receivers. Breece Hall, Gus Edwards, and Roshan Johnson. You dropping any of those players for Fields?
It depends if this is a one quarterback league. If it is, then no, I'm not dropping any of these players for Justin Fields. But if I had to, I would probably drop Rashee Rice or Edwards.
Rashee Rice would be the guy that I would drop out of here, but I'm probably not doing it. If Justin Fields is on your waivers now, he could be there in 3 weeks after someone else picks him up, then drops him to stream another quarterback.
Yeah.
Dominic in here wants to know, trade Jerome Ford for George Kittle. I'm going to look at the rest of your team, but I don't even need to do this right now.
Yep.
Grimfan in here wants to know Josh Palmer or Rashad White for flex and half PPR. That is a great question, Grim. Which way are you rolling here, JL?
Ooh, let me pull up their matchups right. Chargers are
playing the Raiders this week. And the Buccaneers have the Saints interdivision matchup.
Rashad White looked so good last week. I think I'd go Rashad White.
I think because these guys are close, the two defenses I'm avoiding so far this year are the Saints D and the Browns D after 3 weeks. So I think I'll take Josh Palmer here, but it's really close. Man, I loved Rashad White going into this season too. Let's see. Also, Toronto David, he said, I also don't mind starting Palmer this week. Shout out Palmer from the Toronto area.
Let's go.
NKC stopping by. What's up, NKC? Welcome in, my friend. Dominic says, pick one, Kamara, Monty, or Ford. Kamara. I know it's his first week back, but it was a suspension, not an injury. Get him in there.
Yep.
Joshua saying, thanks, y'all. Bless up. Thank you, Joshua. We appreciate it. And Savvy wants to know, Joshua Palmer or Tank Dell rest of season? This is Tank Dell for me. I think Palmer's upside is limited. I think Palmer, what we saw last week, the 60 yards and a touchdown, even with Mike Williams out, he's going to do that more often. I don't think his ceiling is much higher. Tank Dell is a wide receiver one potentially on a team that's chucking the ball 40 to 50 times a game. Like, dude, the upside's so high. I'm rolling there. What about you, JL?
Yeah, I'd go Tank Dell as well.
Mr. Scabbers wants to know Algier or Josh Downs versus the Rams. So you taking Algier in London or Josh Downs versus the Rams, JL?
I feel like we don't have much data to know whether Algier can handle the jet lag.
You're right.
I think I would go.
Great point.
It's a good point, right? I think I would go Josh Downs.
I think I'm going to go Algier because we also don't know if Bijan can handle the jet lag.
True.
So if he can't, Algier could just get all the work using that logic. We have a question in here from Lefberger Wabetaberger. Wants to know, do I trade Zay Flowers for Anthony Richardson? My current wide receivers are Pittman, Cooper, Waddle. QBs are Fields and Danny J. I'm not doing this. If this is a one quarterback league, I'm holding on to Zay Flowers. What about you, JL?
Yeah, keep Zay. If you have Fields and Daniel Jones, you're good. If it's super flex,
I think I'm still not doing it.
Yeah, maybe. I guess it depends on how you feel about Fields and Daniel Jones, but I think both of those guys are probably similarly ranked to Anthony Richardson.
You do have great wide receivers, though, so I understand why you're asking this question. Pittman,
Yeah.
Cooper, Waddle, CD, and Cup, it's looking great. And he says he'll have to drop one of them. So I think you could potentially shoot higher than Anthony Richardson in a one quarterback league, someone with a little bit more security.
Yeah.
NKC wants to know Jaylen Herz or Joe Burrow. This is an easy Jaylen Herz for me. What about you, Joe?
Yep.
Carlos wants to know, is Achane a must start?
No.
I'm with you. He's I'd like to start him, but not a must.
Not going to get 4 touchdowns every week. They're not going to score 70 points every week.
Carlos says he's starting Richardson over Trevor Lawrence. Crazy or no?
Not crazy.
Nope. This Jaguars offense has been struggling. We're going to get a few more of these questions in here. Freddie wants to know 10-team PPR need one flex: Javonte Williams, Zach Charbonnet, Joshua Palmer, Quentin Johnston, Drake London, or Garrett Wilson. Oh, how the mighty have fallen, Garrett Wilson. All it takes is Zach Wilson throwing you the ball, and here we are. But I think it's still going to be Garrett Wilson.
Yes, I was going to say, I hate to be the very bad news, but I think I'm still starting Garrett Wilson this week. And then
Close with Javonte.
It's just one. Okay. Yeah, Javonte is the other one that I think definitely needs to be. That's
matchup against the
so
Bears.
Bad. That's going to feel so bad if Javonte Williams goes off against the Bears. I think I'm still rolling with Wilson, but I could see why you wouldn't.
Absolutely. One more question in here from Mr. Scampers, then we're going to jump out of here. Scamper said Bateman and OBJ both DNP. That's not a question. We got off the hook, baby.
Woo!
Everybody in the chat, thank you so much for stopping by. AS letting us know about a trade here. Just traded Fields and Johnston for Anthony Richardson. So the question earlier about Anthony Richardson trades, here's an example of maybe what it costs to get him. Yeah. I would much rather trade Quentin Johnston and a quarterback than Zay Flowers, though, to go get Anthony Richardson.
Yep.
You know what? We'll have time for one more question in here. Freddie Rivera stopping in with the super chat. Thank you so much for coming in and asking questions. We're here every Tuesday and Thursday going forward the rest of the season, answering your questions like this. AS says I need 3 half PPR: Christian Watson, Amari Cooper, Chris Godwin, DeAndre Hopkins, and Zay Flowers. It's definitely Cooper for me. Definitely Flowers. And then I think it's Godwin. What about you?
I'm with you.
Definitely Cooper, definitely Flowers, and then maybe Godwin.
Those are the 3 names I picked.
NKC says Swift or Robinson. John Luke, real quick, who's it going to be?
Wait, which Robinson?
Yeah, Brian, answer it that way.
Swift.
If it's Bijan, go Bijan, but I'm assuming this is Brian. Otherwise, I don't.
Or if it's Allen, don't go Allen.
If it's Allen Robinson, definitely don't go Allen Robinson. Guys, that is going to be it for Office Hours today. Thank you to everyone who stopped by. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Enjoy Thursday night football. And we'll see you guys tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern time for some more fantasy football game show fun. Until then, though, we are out of here. Professors.
Pasta.
Out.
Out.